Last summer, I was targeted by the Vancouver City Police Department for filing a complaint against them after they failed to investigate a sexual assault I experienced. My complaint stated that I believe they failed to investigate they did not investigate my sexual assault due to my gender and sexual orientation. Which is valid. They didn't investigate the sexual assault I experienced at all. It got to the point where the ombudsman of BC were notified of something happening, so they started following me around as well. So I then had a group of cops trying to lead me around to what I'm presuming was to be trafficked and caught into human trafficking based off of what I experienced. And then I had another group of officers trying to lead me around to safety. So I had both things happening at the same time. It was very confusing, and through this process I learned of some advanced technology that is able to embed messages into everyday sounds that we hear around us. This could be things from motorcycles to birds to helicopters to cars or buses, leaf blowers, chainsaws, table saws, and it embeds the message within that sound. I first discovered this technology was being used on me when I heard someone I cared about deeply talking to me through the birds, chirping. I at first thought I was going crazy and thought there's no way that he's talking to me through the birds. But then I saw another man walk by and he could hear it as well. And just the look on his face, you could tell that he could hear what was being said. This then devolved into the ombudsman getting him to record his voice with a script, reading a script into a microphone. This recording was then used to train an AI tracker on his voice that they then used to coerce me into various activities to try and train this AI tracker. Now, what they didn't realize is that I had picked up on the fact that I was being tracked by an AI, and I was using techniques that are meant to escape an AI tracker, but yet instead of escaping to safety, I was escaping to nothing because there's no safety ever coming for me. Because what I didn't know at the time, but I do know now, is the whole community was actually watching this training unfolding on a website that they were all given a link to. The entire Westend was basically watching me, and some very vulnerable moments that I was being led to by an AI that was using a voice of somebody that I love. This voice led me to some very dangerous positions and some very questionable circumstances. The majority of the people probably didn't have the audio to hear what I was hearing, but some did, and they did know that I was hearing the voice of somebody that I cared about, and that's what they were using to get me to do these things. And it's things like going between cars that are moving, like on them, to try and get the tracker off of me. I used a scarf to try and cover up my face and shield myself while walking along hedges, and have cars try and go around me to have the AI tracker lose me between the cars. I remember at one point last summer I did write on my phone, is this a non-consensual reality show? And I heard somebody yell out the window of their apartment building, yes, it is. And I should have picked up faster that they're playing with me. But I just wanted to believe it so badly that this person I love was there for me and was trying to help me. But by the time they started airing all this online, they were all told that I was consenting and that I was agreeing to this, even though I had no idea that this was going on. other than being perceptive and being aware of my surroundings and knowing what I know about AI and how the tracker would work. So not only were they using me for their own enjoyment, they also used me to make it so that AI tracker is now trained on detecting ways people are trying to escape. So if there's ever an emergency or somebody is needing to get out of that area, they have fewer ways of getting about it now, because I've trained the AI on how to get away from it, on how we're going to get away from it. So it knows to look for the color discoloration between the scarf and the bush, or it knows to keep tracking the person and not the car, or it just knows a lot more than it should. And this early on in AI's development is not a good thing, because now it's just going to make it harder and harder for people to get away from these AI trackers, because once one of them knows the information, they all know the information. So we've now taken the list of things that I had come up with me and ChatGPT of how to get away from an AI tracker, and they've made it so it's harder to now get away for the next person. At the same time, they've discredited me, made me look like an idiot to the whole community, told them all I was being paid very well for this work, even though I have received zero financial compensation. And I'm saying, like, they were telling me I was making millions of dollars for this, and I was not paid a dime, not even a penny. I was stealing food. I'm homeless. I was homeless at the time, and I'm still homeless now. And after this all went through, when they were done playing with me, they told me to go to the hospital and request a mental health assessment by CSIS. So you can imagine how that went when I went to the hospital and told them that CSIS has requested me to come in for a mental health assessment, and the cars are talking to me, and they were talking to me. Everybody in the neighborhood could hear what they were saying. They all knew they were talking to me because they were all watching online and knew that that I was training an AI. So they all thought the AI was talking to me through the cars, which sometimes it was the AI, sometimes it was police, sometimes it was my friend. But I don't know the difference between the three of them now, because they cloned my friend's voice into the AI. And now I can't tell the difference between if the AI is trying to talk to me or if a friend's trying to talk to me. Now I'm assuming that my friend did this without knowledge of what his voice is being used for, or I don't know why he would read that script and not ask more questions. I don't know why anybody in that neighborhood wouldn't ask more questions. When I'm stealing food, I'm very thin, because I was down to 130 pounds last summer. I'm 6'2", so that is like dangerously thin. My dog died as a result of all of this, because I couldn't take care of him properly, because I was so freaked out thinking I was trying to escape this AI tracker, and running around the neighborhood scared for my life, when it's all just some show for them to enjoy.